Oh, hi, you must be here for the tour. I'm Rick Bassett, one of the IT administrators here at Basic Research. I've been told to give you a tour with an emphasis on infrastructure. Let's go. Let me just lock up here so I don't get strawberry shortcake while we're gone. So this is the generator. It's a pretty important part of our infrastructure here at Basic Research. This thing holds 450 gallons of diesel, can run continuously for weeks on end as long as we keep fuel in there. It'll actually keep the servers, the electrical lighting, and the cooling system for the data center running in the event of a power outage. Let's make a little smoke.
It's alive! It's alive! It's alive! It's alive! Oh, in the name of God! Now I know what it feels like to be God!
So we actually have this thing set up on alerts to where if it's not in automatic mode or it's running or it's low on fuel, we'll actually get text messages to let us know what's going on. Some of the indicators here, just like your car, there's a water temperature gauge, oil pressure gauge, an amperage meter, a total hour run meter. Looks like it's got about 179 hours on it. Up here is kind of the important ones when it's generating power. This will show you the voltage, which should be right around 408 volts. The current amperage draw and the hertz that it's running at. And like in your house, it should be running around 60 hertz. This little switch here actually changes between the three phases of the three-phase power and will actually show the leg information when it's switched to that leg. That's it. Let me show you where this stuff goes. So this is the electrical room here at Basic Research. The power actually comes in from the northeast corner of the property, comes into a large panel like this one in the east warehouse, and then into these. From here it feeds the entire building. These are the ATSs, or automatic transfer switches. What these do is these switch between facility power, UPS, and generator in the event of a power outage. So what happens is the power goes out, the UPS switch actually kicks in, continues to feed power to the emergency lighting and the servers in the data center, and the generator starts up. After 60 seconds of the generator running, this switch activates and it actually feeds power back up to the UPS and all those other systems, including the cooling in the data center. Once the power is restored, this will continue to run for about 60 seconds and then switch off just to make sure that everything is stable before it switches. So you can take a look in here. So this is the UPS. This actually supplies power to the servers, the west half of the call center, and the emergency lighting in the event of a power outage. One thing I want to stress is that the power doesn't actually switch back and forth from this to the servers. Power actually feeds this all the time, charges the batteries, runs the inverter, and then that power is actually what is sent to the servers and everything else. So that if the power actually drops out, there isn't a switching action that's going on. We're just charging the batteries all the time. So this is the information panel here. It actually shows a history of any anomalies that happen with the power. We're doing pretty good because the last event was January 5th of 2010, and it only lasted like a couple of minutes. It was a synchronization error. And any historical events that took place. We're doing pretty good because the last event, yeah, we're going to shoot that over. I think I spit on the handle too. So this is one of the two PDUs. Each PDU is fed by the UPS on its own breaker. In the server cabinet, there's 4 power strips. 2 are connected to this PDU, 2 are connected to that PDU. That allows us to split the power across the 2 PDUs for each server having multiple power supplies. So if we lose a PDU, we don't lose all of our systems. There's an information panel on here that gives you quick information about the voltage being used, the current used by each of the 3 phases, and this one looks really good. There's no errors on it or anything like that. Also, out of the second PDU, there are about 15 breakers that run the call center, so that the west half of the call center can run off UPS power when the power is out. So let's move on to cooling.
Hello. I'd like to tell you about Compact's new Portable 2 computer. It's such a marvelous machine that it would be quite unfair to compare it with another computer. So, we've decided to compare it with this fish. Now, the fish weighs 22 pounds, which makes it extremely portable. It will fit snugly on the passenger seat of your car or when traveling by train on the luggage rack. By coincidence, the computer weighs exactly the same. So, nothing to choose between them so far. But how much can they remember? Well, the Portable 2 has a memory of 4.1 megabytes, a fair old number of megabytes, as I'm sure you'll agree. The fish, on the other hand, can't remember a thing. Hardly surprising, really, because it's stone dead. I expect he could give you a megabyte, though. Oh, sorry. Anyway, I expect you've been wondering just how much IBM software this fish can run. The answer, I'm afraid, none. The Compact Portable 2, however, can run all IBM's most popular software 30% faster than IBM can. Ha, ha, ha. So, if you're looking for a powerful portable computer that doesn't smell, we suggest you buy the Compact Portable 2. Of course, choice. Sorry, I was miles away. Of course, the choice is yours.
In 1946, moviegoers got their first glimpse of an astonishing new machine.
Are people becoming obsolete? A giant electronic brain has started cogitating at the University of Pennsylvania. It's made a vacuum tube, like your radio, and it can add up a column of figures a yard long in a second. It's the world's first electronic computer. Right now, it's solving mathematical problems for the U.S. Army, but who knows? Someday a machine like this may check up on your income tax.
So this is one of the 2 cooling units here in the data center. This was in the building in '96 when we built it. This is actually half of the unit. You don't actually see the whole unit. The other half of it is on the roof. In this box here, there's 2 air compressors. There's a cooling coil and then the blower fan. And then on the roof, there's 2 condenser coils and the fans that keep those things cool. This unit by itself, in the event that we lose one compressor, won't actually keep the data center cool. So we added a second one last spring that's entirely on the roof. The only part of it you'll see in the room is the thermostat that's on the ceiling. So back in 86. So back in 06, I brought a Sharp strip into the building. Sharp stands for self-healing and redundant path. This J-box and another one just like it on the west side of the building has fiber that comes in from Harold Gaddy. This box actually comes from the east down Harold Gaddy Drive, under the parking lot and into this box. And then if you could follow this conduit, it actually runs the length of the building, dumps into a cable tray, and then into the data center upstairs in the Ds1 box I'll show you later. The other path comes in by the cafeteria, comes in from the west end of the building, under the parking lot, and then up into the cafeteria area, and then up into the data center from there. We actually did some testing with this. We were able to disconnect one side of the Sharps loop while on a phone call, and you would never know that one of the paths was interrupted. So in the event that someone's digging in the parking lot, cuts the fiber, or we just lose a CO, like the one in Salt Lake City that this one's connected to, or the one in Midvale that the west side is connected to, There's no interruption to our data or our voice here at Basic Research. So this is the Ds1 cabinet. It actually is owned by Quest. Both of the pieces of fiber from our sharp loop come into here, one from the top, one from the bottom, and the closest they ever get in the entire building is when they actually connect right here to this cabinet, the cards in this cabinet. I've got two DS3s coming out of here, one from Quest, one from Veracity, and then a third that actually connects this MUX right here to the 12 PRIs that are fed to these gateways that I'll go over later. I have a graphic that kind of shows the overall internet connection. Let's bring that up. No, not that one. I thought I had a more simplified version. No, not that one. Yeah, that's the one right there. So that's the simplified version. So let's move on.
Hello. In the last commercial for the Compact Portable 2, I said that it sets new standards in full-function portable computing. Now look, I want to come clean about this. I have absolutely no idea what it means. But anyway, the Compact Portable 2 certainly does set these new standard things in full-function portable computing. And that's the nub of it. So, 3 cheers for it, I say. Hip hip! Hooray! Hip hip! Hooray! Hip hip! Hooray!
So over here is where those internet connections come into our network. These are the 2 routers they come in on. This router is connecting to the DS3 going to Quest. This one to the DS3 going to Veracity. Also in this cabinet, you can see that it's set up for redundancy. Let me pull this door off real quick so you can get a better look at it. So in the cabinet on the top here, we actually have our redundant firewalls, our redundant VPN concentrators, the 2 cores, which are really just big switches. Our wireless controllers are actually redundant and split across the 2 cabinets. In addition to that, these fibers here, they actually feed the IDFs, or the network closets around the building. A through H on core 1, and then A through H on core 2. And like our sharps loop, the fiber actually connects to the top and the bottom of the switch so that we could lose any one switch in the stack and have connectivity to everything but that one switch. So now you can take a look. So this cabinet we put in place for the new Cisco voice solution. In the top of it here, you can see we've got 2 voice gateways. They actually convert PRIs to Ethernet traffic. The PRIs come from the DS1 that I showed you earlier. Here we have the 2 call managers. These handle all of the call traffic. Space for a third. This is the present server, Cup 1. This handles all of the Cisco Unified Personal Communicator traffic. Unity 1, which is the voicemail server. These 2 servers are the call center servers, or UCCX servers. They actually do all of the call routing as it pertains to the call center, the helpline, and the front desk. This is the CMA. This is the device mobility server. And here, this is a retired quality manager server. In the bottom of the cabinet here is an analog gateway. This actually converts the Ethernet to analog devices for fax machines and older style analog telephone lines. That's it there. Let's move on. This is a pretty standard network closet here at Basic Research. You can see the 2 fiber connections that go to the data center, one at the bottom of the stack, one at the top of the stack. This allows any of these switches to die and not lose connectivity back up to the data center. This is where the connections actually go back to the cubicles. It's pretty standard stuff. And we've also outfitted some of the network closets with the UPS where we need them. These will keep phones and stuff running when the power goes out. So you can take a look at that. All right, I hope you enjoyed our tour of Basic Research with the emphasis on infrastructure. Come on back and see us sometime.
Hello, this is the new Compact Portable 3, and Compact say it represents the utmost in full-function portable computing. And here's a man who knows what that means.
Well, it means you get all the functions from a portable that you'd expect from a desktop. And indeed, the new Compact Portable 3 with possible 40 megabytes of storage and a fast 12 megahertz 286 chip is more powerful than most desktops. Also, it has the highest resolution gas plasma screen. It really has everything.
Boring.
The generator here at Bassett. So this is the generator here at Basic Research. It's an important part of our infrastructure. So this is the electrical room here at Basic Research. The power comes in from a panel. I did it again. On the west end of the building is a similar J-box like this one. The connection actually travels out the son of a bitch. So if you could follow that conduit up there, you'd see it actually traverse the building and fly out the roof. All right. Keep going. All right. All right, so we actually have this thing set up on alerts so that in the event that it's not turned, let's do that again. If the generator is not switched to, if it's not in automatic mode, I'll quickly go over the various components with you guys, point out and describe. So from here I'm just going to say, so these are our ACE firewalls, which they're not actually. 510. Yeah, they are. Alright, so this device is one of the redundant firewalls. This is actually our VPN concentrator here. The main core with redundant power supplies. The routers you've seen. On this side we have the secondary firewall. And I have no idea what this piece of equipment does right here. It doesn't have a tag with it. Camera follows me to the east side of the PDU, tight on the panel. It's actually on the west side, so you're right, you don't need to do that. And one DS3 split out into 12 PRIs over here. One to connection to, okay. So this is the Ds1 cabinet. It actually carries, all right, just keep going, I'll cut that. I think that's all I had for this. So this is one of the two PDUs that are actually fed by the UPS. The UPS has a separate breaker for each one of them, so they're on their own circuits. And crap, let's do that again. So this is one of the two PDUs, actually fed by the UPS by their own breaker. This PDU has connections to each one of the cabinets, as well as the other. Shoot, let's try that again. So this is one of the two PDUs. Each of the PDUs serves the cabinets. Just keep rolling, unless you want to cut it. So this is one of the two PDUs. Each of the server cabinets has a connection to each PDU, meaning that there's 4 power strips in a cabinet. 2 of them connected to this PDU, 2 of them connected to that PDU. Each of the servers has at least 2 frickin' power supplies. When the power goes out, the UPS switch will switch into gear, and it'll actually feed power to the servers, the UPS, and the cooling system up. Shit. Doesn't feed power to the cooling system. In the event of a power outage, the ATS for the generator, shoot. This is actually the fiber that comes from the east side of the parking lot and comes down from the east. Shoot. This is my masturbatorium. Okay, I hope you enjoyed the tour of Basic Research with an emphasis on infrastructure. Come on back and see us anytime. All right, I hope you enjoyed our tour of Basic Research with the emphasis on infrastructure. Come on back and see us sometime.
Wait!